When you look at your food, have you ever wondered what's really in there? I mean, beyond just food. Well, it turns out there's this whole secret language of chemistry in every single meal. And today, we're going to learn how to read it. It all starts with a simple question. So, what's with this rainbow of test tubes? Well, believe it or not, this isn't just for show. This is the answer. Every single one of these colors is like a clue in a chemical detective story. It's telling us exactly what's hiding in our food. But how? How do we go from, say, a piece of fruit to a result that's this crystal clear? Well, it all starts by knowing what we're looking for. All right, so our investigation is going to start by hunting for a very specific target. It's something called a reducing sugar, and figuring out what that even is, that's the first major piece of our puzzle. So what exactly makes a sugar reducing? Well, think of it like this. It has a kind of chemical superpower. It can give away or donate these tiny particles called electrons. And that ability, the ability to hand off electrons, that's the absolute key. It's what lets our chemical tests see them. We're talking about all the basic sugars here, like glucose, the fundamental building blocks of carbs. Okay, so we've got our target locked in, reducing sugars. Now we need our tool. Our first gadget is a classic. It's a piece of chemistry called the Benedict's test, and it is such a simple but really elegant way to force those sugars to, well, literally show their true colors. And the process? You're gonna love this. It's so simple. All we do is mix our food sample with this special blue liquid. It's called Benedict's reagent. Then we just heat it up for a few minutes. That's it. The real magic, though, happens when we pull it out of the heat and see what happens. And bam, here's the result. If there's no reducing sugar in there, the solution just stays blue. No big deal. But if our sugar is present, a reaction kicks off, and it creates this absolutely amazing spectrum of color. But here's the really cool part. It's not just a simple yes or no answer. It gets way better than that. See? The exact color tells you how much sugar there is. It's like a scale. A little bit of sugar, you get a green color. A medium amount, it turns yellow. And as that concentration goes up and up, the color shifts through orange all the way to this deep brick red. This whole thing is what we call a semi-quantitative test. Basically, it gives us a fantastic estimate of the amount. But what happens when a good guess just isn't good enough? I mean, in science, and especially in things like food safety, you often need an exact number. No guesswork allowed. So how do we level up from a colorful estimate to a precise, hard measurement? Okay, let's break this down. The difference is actually really simple, but it's crucial. Think of it like this. A semi-quantitative test is like looking at a jar of candy and just guessing how many are in there. A quantitative test, that's like pouring them all out on the table and counting every single one. See the difference? One's a ballpark, the other is the exact number. So to get that super precise number, we actually start by making our own answer key. What we do is create a whole series of solutions, but this time we know exactly how much sugar is in each one. Then we run the same Benedict's test on all of them. What we end up with is a perfect, totally reliable color scale that we can use for comparison. And this is where we bring in the high-tech gear. This device is called a colorimeter, and its whole job is to do something our eyes just can't do, turn a color into a hard number. It works by shining a very specific beam of light through the sample, and then it measures exactly how much of that light gets soaked up or absorbed. It's pretty simple, really. The darker the color, the more light it absorbs. So here's how it all comes together. We take all those samples from our answer key, right? We pop each one into the colorimeter, and we get a precise absorbance number for each color. Then we plot all those numbers on a graph. Okay, now for the magic. We take our unknown food sample, we run the test, we get its absorbance number, and all we have to do is find that number on our graph, look across, and bingo! We can read its exact sugar concentration right off the chart. Mystery solved with total precision. Now, this whole idea, using color to measure stuff, it's super powerful. And it's not just for sugars. We can use a nearly identical method to hunt for another really important thing in our food, starch. And get this test is even easier. Seriously, you just add a couple of drops of an iodine solution right onto your sample. That's it. No heating, no waiting around. The result is instantaneous, and the color change is, well, it's pretty dramatic. So if there's no starch, the iodine just stays its normal brownish color. But if starch is there, it instantly flips to this deep, intense blue-black. And just like with the sugar test, the exact shade tells a story. The darker and deeper that blue gets, the more starch is packed in there. Okay, I know what you're thinking. This is all really cool chemistry, but so what? What does this have to do with my lunch? Well, the answer is pretty much everything. These simple tests, or at least more advanced versions of them, are being used all the time, and they directly affect the food that ends up on your plate. Just think about the humble potato. You ever wonder why some potatoes are amazing for baking and others are better for, say, a potato salad? It's all about the starch. The amount of starch inside completely changes how it cooks. A high starch potato gets all light and fluffy when you bake it. Perfect, right? But a low starch potato holds its shape really well, which is exactly what you want if you're boiling it. Knowing the chemistry, that's the secret to a perfect meal. And it goes way beyond just potatoes. I mean, think about it. In food science, these tests are crucial for quality control, making sure our food has the right texture. In medicine, the same basic ideas are used in diagnostic tests, like measuring glucose in your blood. And in farming, farmers can use these tests to figure out the absolute perfect time to harvest fruit, just by measuring its sugar content. It's everywhere. So you see, these simple color changes, they're not just a neat lab trick. They're a language. It's how we translate the invisible world that's hidden inside our food into real, useful information. So the next time you're at the store and you look at a food label, just take a second and think about the hidden chemistry it represents. What are you going to see differently now?